by Michigan State. A thriller in overtime, 76-70. Guys who know about Final Fours know about greatness. Tom Izzo, the Michigan State head coach. And for Rick Pitino on the opposite side, it is his 500th game at Louisville. 15 years as the coach of the Cards. Not exactly the easiest way to get to number 500. Go to Michigan State and play the Spartans, number 3 in the country. Here we go with Louisville in the black and Michigan State in the home white.
Mike, we talked about Denzel Valentine, and I was just watching him here. Risky with all the little touch fouls to put him on Damian Lee, and he just picked one up underneath the bucket off the ball, and it, based on the way things are being called, it was a mistake by Valentine. Shouldn't have done it.
Took all of 12 seconds for Valentine to pick up a foul. He got in foul trouble in the game Sunday on the West Coast when Michigan State beat Providence. Tum-Tum Naren is blocked at the rim by Onuaku, who takes it away. Chinanu Onuaku, the big man for Louisville. Two big guys who have played well. This is Jalen Johnson inside. He's from Ypsilanti, Michigan, which is one town over from Ann Arbor. So he's about an hour and 10 minutes away from here. He's got a bunch of family and friends. Back in the starting lineup, he was taken out for the last game.
Well, he's back in the starting lineup because of that right there. He went on the block. No help. They figure they can guard. Michigan State figures they can guard Johnson one-on-one, but they couldn't. That's a heck of a move.
Tum-Tum Naren gets it to Bryn Forbes. Solid shooter from the outside. Mr. Do-It-All, Valentine, already a couple of triple-doubles, turns the corner, and on the find, it's Naren. His three is off, but the possession kept alive by Javon Beck. Fans wanted Matt Costello to put that shot up. He didn't.
He's going to have to be a threat. I mean, he can make a 15-foot face-up jump shot. He's going to have to be a threat in the middle of the zone, or in the middle of the defense.
Louisville always that very difficult to deal with defense, picking up full court after they make right in you on the defensive end if you're in half court. They are a problem defensively, even though the players are getting used to this system. That's Quentin Snyder, who had to give it up, and Damian Lee from the outside. One club too many, but off the hands of Costello, stays down here.
Well, you see immediately Tom Izzo, he won't stop. Right now, he's all over Gene's territory. He was very vocal after the Providence game about, in his opinion, touch fouls that have no place and make basketball far less interesting.
Lewis on the drive. It's Jalen Johnson. He's long on that one. Naren brings it out of there. It was the Spartan point guard. Forbes. Off on the three. Back the other way, Trey Lewis. Michigan State fans wanted a foul as Lewis goes rack to rack for two.
Now he just went right by the best defender, Tum-Tum Naren. Lewis did. Naren really just gave ground, and Lewis took advantage.
Erling Valentine, tough shot. Michigan State not getting the best shots right now. They're a bit rushed, Dan, because of Louisville. Here is Lee. Damian Lee on the take, and he is fouled. In the meantime, Izzo continues to wear out the officiating triumvirate.
I'm telling you, that is about a call. Look at it. That's about a call 2 minutes ago. He talked to us, came right over before the game, Mike, and shoot around. And he's talking to you and me, complaining about the officiating. And then he looked and realized, wait a second, I'm 7-0.
Right, he did say that. We'll get into the conversation deeper once this game settles in. But all the freedom of movement stuff. There have been more fouls called per game in college basketball. This is a Michigan State team that has always played physical. This is a team that would get hurt by a significant change in the way games are called. And although they're unbeaten, Izzo sees that as an issue. Snyder missed the three, and Michigan State back the other way. Naren, the hit ahead, best travel. By the way, DJ Karstensen is one of the three officials, along with Terry Weimer, and you already mentioned Gene's territory.
This is as good a crew as you're going to have. And Damian Lee made a heck of a play there. Best did what Michigan State players have been doing forever, and you still see Izzo just...
Well, you know what he did? Weimer made the call on the foul.
Yes.
So nobody else rotated in front of Izzo except for the other two guys. So he wore them out, just waiting for the rotation to come back and get Weimer. This is Lee. Knocks it down, so the Spartans have opened 0 for 5 from the field, and Louisville has jumped up to a 6-0 lead.
Here's a problem moving forward for Michigan State, Mike. Where do you go on the block to get a bucket when jump shots aren't going? They have a terrific jump shooting team, but where do you go? You've always had a guy. Okay, let's see if Costello can do something out of the post.
He got doubled, and Bess inside. He missed the bunny. So they are 0 for 6. Nothing going right here in the early going for the Spartans.
I'll be surprised if Louisville stays with double team in the post. You don't need to double team. You got to make these guys beat you, whether it's Bess or whether it is Costello. Now, if Valentine gets it on the block, you got to double. Other than that, you don't need to.
Izzo will go to his bench here. Less than 4 minutes in. 4 Spartans waiting to check in. Valentine, Costello got bumped, and Onowaku picks up the first foul for the Cards.
You know, a fan looks at that and says, all right, you got fouled. A coach looks at that and says, you got to make that. That was an easy three-point play for Costello. Now you're shooting for 3 as opposed to shooting for 1. I'm telling you, in games like this, high-level games, that's a big deal moving forward.
Michigan State's about to sub everyone but the shooter, Costello, I believe. One's going to come in for Costello in a moment. Here's Izzo's reaction earlier on what you were just talking about, Dan, not being able to make it an N1.
I'm telling you, that a fan goes, oh, what are you talking about? Great play. The coach goes, that is as easy an N1. You make your best jump, meaning you don't fall forward, you jump up, and you make that. Costello fell forward.
Aaron Harris, Matt McQuaid came in with that dead ball. Marvin Clark Jr. as well. And now after Costello makes the free throws, Deontay Davis, very good-looking freshman, comes in for the Spartans.
And both of them are. Matt McQuaid hit the shots, 3 of them against Kansas opener. But what's lesser known, 2-point game, struggle back and forth 4 minutes ago against Providence. He stepped up and drilled a 3 to open the game late.
Cards bring Mango Methiang, had a very good game on Saturday against St. Louis in Brooklyn. He comes in for Jalen Johnson. Off the miss, it's rebounded by Aaron Harris for Michigan State. Former West Virginia player. Harris sat out transfer last year. Knocking the rust off this year. What a great find as Valentine was doubled. Harris spinning. Tough to catch pass for Davis. And Louisville back the other way.
Man, is Louisville impressive to this point, Mike? Your guards are getting in. Everybody's coming to the ball. They're hustling. Rick Pitino, in my opinion, does the best job and has always done the best job of player development in the country. Like, you're going to see whether it's Snyder, whether it's Lee, whether it's Lewis, you're going to see, and you already have seen, a variety of moves that just make it difficult to guard before they dribble, when they're dribbling, and after they dribble.
On the screening action, it's a foul on the Cards as we get to the game's first timeout.
ESPN's exclusive presentation of college basketball is presented by the United States Marine Corps. The few, the proud, the Marines. And in part by Reese's Peanut Butter Cups. The perfect combination of chocolate and peanut butter.
Presented by the U.S. Marine Corps here on ESPN. Tonight from East Lansing, it's part of Journey to the Tourney, presented by Sonic, a season-long spotlight on games that will impact the tournament. Early good start for Louisville over Michigan State, and here is Allison Williams.
Hey there, Mike. Louisville's defense so far keeping the Spartans and Denzel Valentine in check. One thing Louisville wants to make sure they do against Valentine is try and wear him out. Make him use as much energy as possible on both ends of the court. So when Louisville has the ball, they'll try and run him through multiple pick and rolls, stagger screens. Defensively, they'll try and put pressure on him, make him make plays off the bounce. And if he brings it up the court, they'll try and pick him up deep and make him go by multiple guys, all in an effort to try and wear down and tire out the Spartans and the conference's leading scorer.
You know, and to Allison's point, you've already seen where Valentine has had to throw skip passes, meaning pass cross court to a man in the corner because of all the attention that's coming to him. And we've seen every possession Valentine have to guard at least a little bit.
That screen before the break, set illegally, was set by Chinanu Onowaku. That was his second foul. So he comes out the 7-footer. Mahmoud comes in and knocks it away. Anus Mahmoud, sophomore from Cairo, Egypt. So he joins Methiang up front, and gives them great size, Dan, and length, especially on the defensive end in the zone.
Look right there. They try to take Valentine, but to your point, Mike,
Lewis on the drive, knocks it in. It's 8-2.
Man, oh man, is this a well-coached team? Lewis kept his chin on the rim. Watch Lewis.
Oh, what a block by Mahmoud. Came all the way down, knocked it away on the spin. Snyder couldn't convert. Mathiang gets the deflection, but a foul is called. A pushing foul called before the turnover.
Well, this is pretty good. This is just a drive right by 3-4 defenders. See his chin, it stayed on the rim. And now on the other hand, Mahmoud came in. He's been in for about 30 seconds, Mike. He went and double teamed. He caused a steal. He came over, rotated, and made a block. Mike, to finish the point about their length, some teams are long, but they don't play long because they don't put their hands up. They don't spread out. Not Louisville, so well coached. You see right there, they go after every shot, and they keep their arms above their elbows and spread out.
And Dan, that release by Clark, Marvin Clark at the rim there, that was effective because of the presence
Absolutely.
of Mathiang.
There's two long kids in there right now, Mathiang and Mahmoud.
6 minutes, 25 seconds. Michigan State only 2 points, so that Louisville defense stepping up. And Trey Lewis can't hit the three. Mahmoud goes to get the rebound. It was touched last by the Spartans. It will be Cardinal ball. Fans don't agree. So the Big Ten ACC Challenge wrapping up tonight. Indiana, Duke. My guess is there'll be a few points scored in that game.
Yeah, I would think that 80 gets you in the conversation. 90 probably a winner tonight.
Indiana's got to play better defense, don't you think?
Indiana, between their guards, they have the quickest guards between Blackman and Farrell that don't guard. I've never seen quick, athletic, strong guards guard less than those two, and they have to tonight.
Duke, of course, their typical great team. Watch that coming up. Game 2. Mathiang working to the rim. Got it and won. And Mango Mathiang will come to the line for a 3-point play. And what would be a 9-point Louisville lead.
I have Michigan State's scouting report. You're supposed to take his left shoulder. Well, they did. Guess what? He went to his right shoulder and was able to fish it in. This kid is so improved. Mathiang, this kid averaged nothing last year, basically. And now here he is, 17 against Louisville, and he just, against St. Louis, and just looks like a guy that's been doing this for 4 years.
He is a redshirt junior, born in the Sudan, lived in Melbourne, Australia, played some Aussie rules football during his time there. Mathiang missed that free throw. Well, Michigan State, just a horrific start on offense. 0 of 8 from the field, just 2 points. And now dealing with some of that Louisville full court pressure that goes back into his zone. Sometimes it's a matchup zone. Sometimes it takes you a while to figure out what they're in exactly. Davis. He gets fouled. And Dan, there are a couple of eye-opening young players on this Michigan State team, both on the floor. Matt McQuaid out of Duncanville, Texas, and Deontay Davis from Muskegon here in the state.
Yeah, Davis is just the kind of kid. You see Quaid there, who's knocked in threes in big spots, both against Kansas and Providence. But this kid here is going to be a special player, Mike. He can jump up. He's active. He rebounds out of his area. He's averaging 10 points a game. He's the kind of guy that you play for 10 or 15 minutes, and he's going to get you 10 points, 6 rebounds just because he's active.
Tum Naren is going to come in for Tom Izzo, bring his starting point guard in. Aaron Harris will go to the bench.
I think Naren's a key right now. They're doing a good job, Louisville is, on Valentine double him. Naren has to break pressure and get to the rim and either finish or find.
The lead is 7, 10-3. Spartan points coming at the line. No field goals. This Louisville defense answering the call of the first 7.5 of by far their toughest test in this early season. Mahmoud travel. Switch to the pivot feet. Being Sterator on the call. Fans getting on Rick Pitino, who's disagreeing with the call.
I think I disagreed with the call. It's the first of the year, but it looked like he just made a move.
This is the full court Louisville defense that they pick up. It leads to the steal and the basket for Damian Lee.
That's on Naren. Naren ran to the side, Mike. He's got to get in the middle of this and do exactly what he's doing right now, but he's got to attack to the elbow and then figure it out.
Donovan Mitchell came in at that last dead ball for the Cards. He was up there joining the pressure at the top. More turnovers than points, almost 8 minutes in. Bad equation so far. Wonderful for Louisville, though. On the drive around Mitchell, Valentine got fouled.
Look at Naren is to the right side of the screen. Now he comes in. He's not working to get the ball. He's going away. The last 3 feet against pressure have to be the offensive player's domain. You have to go to the ball, not fade away against pressure. Fading away gets get steals by Louisville, get buckets.
The two freshmen come out. McQuaid in conversation, or actually listening to Tom Izzo. Davis comes out as well.
I think it would behoove Michigan State to get Valentine in the middle of the defense. Now they're able to guard him, and you see he can't even get the ball. Mahmoud is all over him, playing basically a box and one.
Forbes to Costello. Shooting over Messier.
That should happen, Mike. That's a senior that's been in the program. That was Mr. Basketball. You should be able to do that as a fourth-year player in Tom Izzo's system. That should be automatic.
I'm sorry, pal. 8 minutes and 10 seconds for the Spartans' first field goal. Donovan Mitchell drives in. Pitch it to Damian Lee. Nice floater in the lane. Good-looking shot from Lee.
How about the pressure that Mitchell put on the defense, and then as a freshman didn't force anything, found Lee, and Lee with the floater. Again, that's skill development. Nobody does it better than Rick Pitino.
Onuaku out with 2 fouls. So Costello went at Messier last time. Nice slip there, and he is called 4 steps before the contact. Certainly deterred by Damian Lee, who was waiting. Izzo disagrees. Cardinals, great start, leading by 9. A rematch of last year's NCAA tournament game in this journey to the tourney contest. Both teams undefeated, early lead for Louisville. This is the first time that the Cardinals are playing a game that's on national TV. So it's the first time that a lot of you are seeing this team since the allegations came out a couple of months ago. There was a book released by a self-described escort, Tina Powell, charges alleging ex-Louisville staffer was hired her, I should say, to provide strippers and prostitutes for parties with recruits and players for a 5-year period. And the investigations are underway. Tom George, the athletic director, saying University Athletic Department investigating. When they came out, those allegations that day, Rick Pitino called them, quote, mind-boggling. As this has transpired, the next couple of steps include a grand jury investigation. The NCAA is looking into it as well. That's why the university, and Rick Pitino specifically, is withholding any comment as this investigation goes on. The escort who wrote the book did meet with the NCAA, according to attorneys, a couple of weeks ago. And this certainly will take time to play out. A lot of questions to be answered. The former staffer in question at Louisville, Andre McGee, no longer at Louisville, at UMKC, Missouri, Kansas City. He resigned from his job there as an assistant coach. None of the players in this team currently involved in any of that, and this continues to play out. Pitino did say that he thought in part this team was not being ranked or perhaps being overlooked by folks because of the allegations that came out, as they just showed up in the rankings a couple of days ago when the new poll came out. Lewis on the drive, puts it in, and Louisville has taken a 16-5 lead. So this is going to be a story that will be around this team when news items come up throughout the season. But just thought it's the first time many of you seeing Louisville since it all came out. It was worth revisiting. Valentine way off on that 3, and the Cardinals back the other way.
Well, Mike, there's so many layers to it. There's the NCAA part of it. There's a criminal investigation. And, you know, to me, it doesn't matter whether Coach Pitino knew or didn't know. It shouldn't happen under anybody's watch. And I would be a bad athletic director. I know I'd be a bad president. I know I would be, but I would not have Coach Pitino as my coach when these things come out. You just can't tolerate that as an institution. And this isn't the only thing that over the last 5 years has come out with Louisville. And as a president or athletic director, I'd get tired of these things. And I have too much respect for higher education and the people that pay to have their kids go to Louisville to allow that. But he is, and good for him. I mean, hey, his athletic director has stood by him. The president initially maybe didn't, but he ended up showing support, and he's got full support. And look, if Rick Pitino didn't have the Louisville job, he'd get a job in 2 minutes. That's how good he is. But man, you can't have these things continue to cloud, no matter how successful your basketball program, they cloud your university.
Lovely ducks that away. Lee back the other way. Lewis all the way to the basket. Hard contact there, and Lewis on the drive is called for the foul.
I'll tell you this, Lewis and Mitchell and Lee are playing harder than Michigan State.
NBA will have a doubleheader day on Friday. It's the Nets and the Knicks in the Battle of New York. They're going on in all the winter sports. Rangers are playing the Islanders this week, the Jets and the Giants. We'll have the Nets and the Knicks on Friday night. And then LeBron James and the Cavaliers in New Orleans take on Anthony Davis and the Pelicans off to a slow start. That's our doubleheader of NBA action Friday for you here on ESPN.
Man, Porzingis has the best set of eyes I've ever seen for basketball.
The rookie for the Knicks, Kristaps Porzingis.
I went on a radio show and I said I wouldn't draft him because he has soft eyes.
How'd that work out for you?
Not great, okay, but I am still telling New York Knicks fans, you know, I remember Linsanity. I remember when everybody got all fired up about Jeremy Lin was going to change the franchise, so I hope it works out for Porzingis because he certainly has been great. Not good, great.
This is where Louisville gives you so many problems. They give you some different looks. The pressure is broken with more comfort by the Spartans, who still are stuck on one made field goal halfway through the half. In transition on the turnover, Lewis shovels one up, and that rebound's pulled in by Kenny Goins. He's trying to get somebody to complete a play here. Harris way off on the three. Boy, the Spartans are struggling.
This is where the two problems, as I see it, for Michigan State moving forward. You have Tum Tum Nairn, who hasn't created anything. And when Michigan State's good, the point guard is pretty daggone good. The second thing is you got to be able to go on the block somewhere. Now, you tell me where you can go on the block. If it's not Valentine, I'm not sure who it could be. Maybe Costello. And that's going to be something no matter. You know, I know Michigan State's off to a great start this season, but that has to get straightened out.
Aaron Harris took the wild shot. Izzo pulled him right out. Brings Valentine in. Valentine knocks down the three.
Mike,
that's the lead to 10.
Izzo took Valentine out before that for a wild shot. A lot of young coaches could learn, man. Star players can sit too.
Snyder gets it to Lewis. Lewis, just a little daylight over Forbes, and he pulls up and knocks down that three. And you see what Rick Pitino has said about those two fifth-year seniors, Lee and Lewis, and the calm that they seem to play with.
Fifth-year guys, Lewis, as we said, started out at Penn State. I thought he was going to be really good back cut. I thought he was going to be really good at Penn State. Transferred, had a nice couple years at Cleveland State, but man, has he blossomed here at Louisville.
Valentine pitched it to Forbes. Got fouled, and he will shoot 3 free throws. We know what Pitino's teams have done traditionally, press, defense. Do you think that's why Michigan State has not been able to get into a rhythm offensively so far?
Yeah, I think they have been exposed, Michigan State, for lack of point guard play. You know, it's great. Tum Tum Nairn's a fantastic leader, nice defender, that kind of stuff. But when you face Rick Pitino, you have to score against their pressure. And that is exactly what Tom Izzo worked on today in the shoot-around. Now, what they have done against the pressure is turn it over or get it across. That's not good enough against a Rick Pitino team. You're going to get beat if that's all you're going to do against Heat.
1 of 2 so far for Bryn Forbes. Went to the same high school as Denzel Valentine, Sexton High School here in Lansing. Well, one of the best players they had this summer, a stronger player, and has improved his defense as well.
I love what Pitino did there. It's such a great thing in coaching. He didn't yell at the guy that fouled Forbes. He just turned his back and walked to the end of the bench. You don't always have to yell to get your point across.
Silent treatment?
It was good, too.
Works as well?
Disgust. Utter, total disgust.
The shun.
The shun. We hate the shun.
Valentine picking up Lewis, who has 11 points. Wraparound Johnson inside. Jalen Johnson can't finish. Good rebound by Goins. When Michigan State needs something good to happen, it usually is in those hands. Valentine can't finish.
I'm telling you.
Deontay Davis. Boy, but if you're good, good things happen to you. He just slapped that ball.
He did. He shot it with his wrist.
Right.
He's just the kind of guy, man. You put him on a court, he's going to get 10 and 6. As his career goes, it's going to be 20 and 12.
Deontay Davis, third field goal for the Spartans. 3 of 14 from the field. Shot clock down at 8. Lee gets inside. A lot of contact, couldn't finish. It was Goins who took the worst of it. Got hit up by the face, so it is 5-on-4 on this end for the moment as Goins lumbers back to join the action. And Goins is bleeding, so they have to stop the game here. State folks are actually asking me how it happened. It was a foul missed. And we'll take a timeout under 8 minutes.
When you're good, you're good. Watch this. Davis from his wrist. The man made it with his wrist. A little shot put for two.
Introducing the Kia Holidays on Us sales.
Welcome back inside the Breslin Center. Louisville with a 21-11 lead over Michigan State. But what a time to be the Spartans. You've got the basketball team ranked 3rd in the country. The football team ranked number 5. And I'm here with Michigan State's all-time winningest quarterback, Connor Cook. Connor, thanks for joining me. Give me a sense of what it's like on this campus right now with all the success between the hoops and the football team.
Right, there's a lot of buzz. You know, obviously with us, being able to go back to the Big Ten Championship game, and then the big wins that we've had here with the basketball team, and they've been doing so well. So everyone keeps saying, what a time to be a Spartan, and that's truly how it goes. I mean, we're so lucky to be here.
So Saturday, you head to Indianapolis, take on the undefeated Iowa Hawkeyes. What has this week of preparation been like for you guys? So much on the line in that game, a chance to go to the college football playoff.
Right. It's just like any other week. You got to go and obviously got to prepare. Meetings are a little bit more intense. Our lifts are a little bit more intense. Practice is a little bit more intense, but we're just going to treat it like any other game. So we're looking forward to it. We've been there before. We know what it's like to win there. We know what it's like to lose there. And hopefully that'll pay dividends.
Connor, thanks so much for taking some time with us. Good luck this weekend.
Thank you.
Mike, back over to you.
All right, Allison, as popular a player as you can find here in East Lansing, Connor Cook, as Michigan State and Iowa will meet on Saturday for the Big Ten title. Now, we told you, we had a little bit of a delay there as they were taking care of Kenny Goins and also doing a timing issue as well. In the interim, we took a peek off air at the way Goins got hurt. It didn't seem like there was anything malicious or anybody's elbow who was looking to take a shot at somebody. Trapped, 9 on the shot clock. Michigan State out of that, but they've got to go to work quick. And Matt McQuaid gets it to Valentine. Ripped it off, and it's thrown back down. Do you approve of that finish by Davis?
I approve of both of those finishes by Davis. Hey, do it with your wrist, do it with your forehead. Who cares? He just did it with his forehead right there.
Michigan State slowly working its way back into this one. As we said, Louisville led by the 11 points from Lewis. This is Quentin Snyder on the drive. Off the front of the terrific rebound. Mathiang threw it up back towards the rim, and that's the size, Dan. They just kind of throw it up to the rim, and they're able to get Mahmoud picking up the foul on the Spartans. Well, you heard from Connor Cook. Michigan State for the moment first 2 out, but ostensibly that Michigan State-Iowa game is a game to get into the bracket, which will be revealed Sunday at noon. Our NFL programming goes an hour earlier. Selection day, you'll find out the 4 teams that will play for the 2 slots in the national championship Sunday at noon on ESPN.
Any chance?
Yes. Yes. That's what I've enjoyed all week. It's the constant questions of the, if this happens, then that happens, then that happens. Who's left? What do you do? Can North Carolina get their way in? If they win and knock off #1 Clemson. Mahmoud missed both.
I heard a show today where they said Stanford would get in. I can't believe that.
Valentine lob. Davis. Timeout Louisville.
Our new app.
Mike, we said earlier that great players make others better. Denzel Valentine has Deontay Davis looked better by missing twice. Devontae Davis, I just love this kid. I think Deontay Davis is one of those kids that's going to be a first-round pick, an absolute superstar. Hasn't been the best game so far by Valentine, but I think he's slowed down a little bit. But Deontay Davis is just absolutely fantastic, and he directs on both ends, doing a good job of talking.
So this Louisville lead now down to 6. That foul will be #5 on Michigan State. 6 on Louisville in this first half, so it has not been as many whistles as we thought we might have seen. Alvin Ellis picked that one up.
Mike, all this is well and good offensively for Michigan State, but for them to win this game, they're going to have to get the dribble under control. not only has Louisville scored off the dribble, but it's opened up the backboard, as you said, really long Louisville team. They've got to get it under control. They did there.
Lee hanging, trying to get bailed out by throwing to Ray Spalding. Just came in for him. He couldn't. Valentine, transition triple, way off. Ellis tried to secure it, and he was being pushed as he tried to catch it. But the foul's called on Quentin Snyder of Louisville.
You don't see Valentine make bad decisions. You know, he may miss a shot. You rarely see that. I thought the ball was going to go back to McQuaid at the top of the key. That's the thing that Valentine brought with him. I thought he was, as a freshman, had such good vision that sometimes it led to him seeing things others didn't, and he turned it over. He's corrected that.
Foul number 7, so 1-on-1 will bring Ellis to the line. And he's off on that one. Two physical teams. I thought we might see one of those parades to the free throw line, but the players have adjusted a bit to the rules, to the tempo. Snyder on the drive, inside denied again. Goins was the man who made the play along with Davis, and it will be Louisville ball.
Like, I never disagree with you, but I am here. I think the officials have adjusted in this game. I do. We're going to see who that's off of.
One of those tight ones.
That one goes to the home team. I think the officials have adjusted. I think Izzo going nuts
on the very first call.
Yeah, and he stayed with it for 3-4 minutes.
You don't think it's been less physical than these two teams can play? You disagree with me?
Yeah, I really do.
Okay,
I'm just watching guys off the ball. I mean, they're still holding each other. You see a hold at the top of the key and no call.
Valentine, no. Davis couldn't get a fourth put back. Valentine puts it in.
And there was Davis again, cleaning up the weak side, making it available for Valentine. What a difference Davis has made in this game.
How about this end? Louisville hasn't scored in 4 minutes.
I think Davis been a part of that, too.
There's a foul. Not called. Nope. Maybe you're right. Methian got cute trying to find Spalding. Turned it over, but the freshman McQuaid stepped on the line, and it will stay down here with the Cards and a recycled shot clock. Donovan Mitchell and Anas Mahmoud will come back in for the Cards. And they'll get Lewis and Methiang over to the bench. Kenny Goins gave Michigan State some good minutes there.
Yeah, the walk-on kid, grew up a Michigan State fan. He's a legitimate walk-on. Well, let me put it this way. He's a walk-on that had legitimate offers from mid-American schools, mid-major schools, and he decided to come here because of his love. Those of us that have walk-ons as kids, we make it up. My son's at Michigan. I say, he could have played anywhere.
I'm going to disagree with you. I think Andrew could. How about that? Mitchell on the drive to the basket. He couldn't finish. Got too close. That loose ball chased down by Snyder, who scores.
That's a bad non-call because Snyder moved his feet to set his feet.
And hit ahead by McQuaid. Lee the other way. Snyder the lob. Finished by Mitchell. Donovan Mitchell takes the high handoff, and Louisville puts some back-to-back field goals together.
There's that lack of point guard play, though, Mike. McQuaid in transition. Great steal by by Louisville.
Matt Costello knocks down the outside shot. A little bit better flow both ways now. We saw Goins when he came out. He's the one who got hit up by the nose and was bleeding. You can see he was just gassed. He couldn't catch his breath because of the cotton rolls up his nose. Those two nostrils breathing through his mouth.
Is that a good-looking freshman?
It really is. Donovan Mitchell, Greenwich, Connecticut, back-to-back field goals there. And a travel call on the Spartans. 10 turnovers by Michigan State. They only have 7 field goals. Donovan Mitchell coming in. A couple of high handoffs that he throws down to put Louisville back up 8.
ESPN's exclusive presentation of college basketball is brought to you by Minions. Own the #1 comedy of the year on Blu-ray and digital HD December 8th.
The year.
Thank you, Ravi. I appreciate personalized studio cut-ins. You know, your school, Carl, will give you a personally tailored one. You mentioned Grayson Allen and Duke coming up at home. Consecutive non-conference home wins, 120 for the Blue Devils. They'll try to handle an Indiana team that struggled out in Maui. I watched a whole bunch of the Feast Week basketball, the tournaments down in Atlantis, the Spartans playing out in Anaheim. Louisville played a game in Brooklyn, a neutral court game. I feel like the depth of college basketball, Dan, maybe not super teams and great teams, but a lot of quality teams that the names say, man, I'm surprised Team A lost to Team B, but there are a whole bunch of good players being spread around with the one-and-dones at some of the big programs. Lee has it stripped off his leg. Michigan State ball.
You know, look, the upsets show that. I think last year we all felt like Kentucky. We all kind of knew Kentucky was going to be good. We all felt like Wisconsin, because of the veterans, you know, they were going to be really good. But I don't think you have anybody this year that you say, man, this is a great basketball team. Now, it may end up that way with Kentucky. It may end up that way with Kansas. Now that Check DL is available. It may end up that way with a variety of teams. And this Louisville team, I think, is going to get better and better.
Costello comes inside. There's no place to shoot it. Nairn moves it. Good recovery defense by Louisville. It's Valentine, who had struggled from the outside. Knocks down his second three. He's 3 of 9 from the field, and it's a 5-point Cards lead.
Couldn't shoot when he got here, Mike. Now when he shoots, you expect it and are surprised when it doesn't go in. You expect it to go in all the time.
Spalding hands. They let Lee shoot. Gave him space, and Damian Lee did a great job scoring. 4th in the country at Drexel. Now in that 5th graduate season here with Louisville.
They're picking on Valentine. They went and flared Valentine. He went under the screen because he didn't want to get caught holding. And next thing you know, you go under the screen against Damian Lee, he's going to kill you.
We find a 4th. Sexton High School to Sexton High School. A couple of Lansing kids hook up there. Spartans have cut 8 off the largest lead of the half for the Cards. That came at the 10-minute mark. Snyder on the drive.
Telling you, skill development, floaters, leaners. They put so much pressure on you when they get the ball, and then they just know how to finish because Rick Pitino and his staff, I'm telling you, they're the best in the country at that kind of thing.
Shot 4. Good use of the window to offset the length of Spalding in front of him.
Kids, you want to know why you lift weights? That shot right there. He was strong enough to hang in the air a little bit, fade, and still get it over the rim.
Inside, a whistle on Louisville. There'll be a foul on the Cards. And let's check in with Allison.
Well, you saw Bryn Forbes drive the lane there. That's what Tom Izzo wants them to do. They need more penetration. They felt like they could really capitalize in transition, but they're not finishing at the rim, and that applies in the half-court offense as well. That was something he emphasized during the timeout. They have to get the ball in the paint.
Well, it's showing, Allison, they've hit their last 5 field goals, and despite that foul on Spalding to send it the other way, Louisville has hit its last 5 field goal attempts. So the offense a little more attractive here in the back end of this first half. Costello had to pitch it. Tum Nairn has it swatted away. Another block for Anus Mahmoud.
Twice Tum Nairn has driven to score, and twice the ball's been sent to the bench. Tum Nairn needs to drive to dish, not drive to score. And a guy wide open in the corner.
Tough to get that 7-footer Mahmoud in front of the rim. Timeout taken by Michigan State. 37.9 to go. Big Ten ACC Challenge, part of an even bigger week for us. Jimmy V week on ESPN.
Today, there's so much more hope than 20, 30 years ago. So people are cancer-free, so that's exciting for all of us to live with that there are cures happening through cancer, and certainly the Jimmy V Foundation is something that adds greatly to that.
Appreciate the support of Rick Pitino, all the coaches, so many coaches around the country. You can help us beat cancer. JimmyV.org on the web, 1-800-4JimmyV to call to donate. All your donations benefit the V Foundation for cancer research. And it's one of the proudest parts of my career, being involved with some of the folks at the V Foundation here over the years since the foundation got started. I know one of the things that we all love to share with great pride, 100% of direct cash donations and pledges go directly to cancer research. We can't thank you enough if you've given in the past, and we hope that V Week and in memory or thoughts of someone you love who's fought the battle, you will decide to give to Cancer Research. That was a good hustle play by Damian Lee to force that turnover on the inbounds. And now Louisville can use most of the clock at the end of the half. 7-footer Mahmoud to Lee to Lewis. He's got Donovan Mitchell on the right. Shot clock's at 7. The drive by the big scorer of the half. The pitch to the diving Mahmoud. Could not finish. Costello's got 5 seconds. Valentine. Oh, how did it go in? Good night. How did that go in? It'll be a 3-point deficit at the break. Trip, no call, stumbling on in.
What'd you say earlier, Mike? When you're good things happen for you. This kid's great, and a great thing just happened.
Here's Allison with Tom Izzo.
Coaches, though, that Valentine finish makes for a nice finish to the half, but why the struggle to start things offensively?
Well, they give Louisville credit. They outplayed us. They got every 50-50 ball. They did a heck of a job. We were just standing still. Our guards didn't guard anybody, like I told you in the pre-practice. Shooters normally don't guard. Their shooters did. Our shooters didn't. And I think the difference in the game was they brought energy. We didn't. Give us a tiny bit of credit because we bounced back and get a lucky shot.
So other than better energy, what else did you adjust to start to get some better looks and get some shots to fall?
Well, we started screening a little bit better and rolling. I mean, the rolls were there and the shots were there. We were tentative. Harris wouldn't shoot it. Forbes wouldn't shoot it. We were really out of sync. Give them credit. They probably did it to us, but we're going to have to play a lot better because I was disappointed in how we played.
Coach Izzo, thank you. Mike?
I bet the players appreciate that because it softens the message just a little.
What, give it to Louisville?
Maybe not.
That
Here's
message
Carl.
would be tough in that locker room.
Carl, Seth, and Jay. Jeep halftime, guys.
I'm my good coach.
We welcome you back to the Big Ten ACC Challenge presented by the U.S. Marine Corps. Right here in East Lansing as we kick off Jimmy V Week for Cancer Research on ESPN, continuing our commitment to the V Foundation and Jim Valvano's dream to defeat cancer. Second half set to begin. 3-point lead for Louisville over number 3 Michigan State. The Big Ten ACC Challenge, I'll leave it at 4 apiece. 3 games going on right now. 3 games to follow on the family of networks. Louisville opened up 10-0 points in the paint. It has since balanced out a little bit, but the points off turnovers and transition points, Dan Dockage tells you exactly what Louisville's equation needed to be in this game, and so far it has been.
Yeah, it has been, and for Michigan State, Tum Nairn has to control the press. He has to get the ball inbounds. He has to work to get it inbounds because Louisville's doing a great job after a turn, whatever. They are getting right into a defensive stance and making it difficult to get the ball inbounds. And then for Louisville, they have to continue to attack off the dribble, and they have to continue to attack Denzel Valentine. He has given up after one step, meaning he'll guard the first step. Second step, he's kind of opened up and let his man go so as not to foul. They got to keep attacking Valentine.
Michigan State will get the ball to start the half. They have not led. The Cardinals led for all but 34 seconds of this one.
Middle of the zone right here. I would put Valentine in it.
I watched Louisville play a couple of their games on TV in their 5-0 start, but seeing them in person, you see what Rick Pitino likes about this team, a team that has a great chance to grow and get better as the year goes on. Costello pitched it out. Rick Forbes with the clock at 5. Valentine turns it over with the travel, and here's Allison Williams. Allison?
Hey there, guys. Louisville had success in that first half because they switched up their defense. Every possession, depending on if it was off a 3, a layup, or a fast break, they had a different defense. The issues started to occur when guys got a bit lazy and didn't communicate properly. Some of the substitutes didn't know the defense they were in. So in the second half, they'll continue to switch it up defensively, but they have to talk, they have to communicate out there.
That's a huge part of what they do. And remember, as we were talking about in the first half, and Jay Williams said in the studio at halftime, the new faces for this team got to get used to that. Mahmoud, one of those, the sophomore on the drive, lost the handle, but he got fouled by Forbes.
Pick and roll. Tom Izzo talked about it at the end of the half with Allison, was there for Michigan State, but it's also there for Louisville because the big men for Michigan State are so conscious of helping on the drive. Michigan State has not gotten the drive under control in this game, so will big men help the rolling big guy, in this case Mahmoud, get open for a layup, a foul, or both.
Anas Mahmoud 0 of 3 from the line so far tonight. Had 7 points in each of the last 2 games off the bench. Nothing off the free throw line, but Trey Lewis keeps this alive.
That'll make you crazy. As everybody knows, Tom Izzo works on free throw block out at the end of every shoot around. They did it today.
And number 10, Jalen Johnson, off the block on the left. Starts this half. He started the game for Louisville. Started earlier in the season. Didn't on Saturday. Plays from down the road at Ypsilanti, Michigan, about an hour 15 from here. The runner by Snyder is off the mark and rebounded by Michigan State. The early look from Kenny Goins in the second half of the Spartans gave Michigan State good minutes. Costello, second time he gets in the lane, nothing to do. Forbes on the drive, got bumped. And they're going to call it on the floor. No continuation there. The foul on the Cardinals guard, Snyder, his second.
Man, I hate that call.
What's
I
wrong?
think that's a continuation, Mike. He's not doing anything other than going into his shot, and he ends up knocking it in. Of all the rule changes that weren't made, right, where are they calling the foul? I mean, a little
That's
touch.
the arm across the chest.
Yeah, I know, but
now, last year that would not probably. Look out, dangerous, taken away here by Lee. Damian Lee, that 6'6", long-arm guard who saw it, read it, and you cannot casually throw it halfway down the court against these Cards.
Mike, where was the point guard? The point guard was all the way down here. He's the quickest guy. It's the best matchup to get him the ball, and you can't be on the other end of the court.
Good defense by Trey Lewis. It's Lee again going. Costello challenges him. A lot of contact and the foul on Costello, but Dan, you see what we've alluded to a couple of times here, and why Rick Pitino really likes these fifth-year seniors who have come in from different schools. Lewis and Lee play with a maturity.
Look at the point guard all the way back here. He's the guy. He can't be drifting.
Where do you want him?
I want him in the middle by the BIG in Big Ten.
Okay.
You're going to see the foul here. And he's got to be cutting. Other guys can drift. The point guard, the quickest guy, has to be cutting, changing direction. 1-2 V-cut.
There you see what that duo has done. Lewis spent time at Cleveland State for a year as a teammate of Brent Forbes of Michigan State.
It's like to be Gary Waters at Cleveland State. You're sitting here, you got 2 guys, both of whom average double figures for you, playing in what is essentially an Elite Eight game, kind of.
These teams met in the Elite Eight last year, and although there are many players no longer on these teams, especially Louisville, which lost about 4/5 of its scoring, still a very high level of competition, and a 7-point Cardinal lead.
You know, Goins is in there. He's a walker. He just flashed to the top of the key. And he's in there. Now it's man-to-man. It went from zone to man-to-man. This is what's confusing.
That's what Allison talked about. Yep. Costello will take the 3, an air ball. Goins keeps it alive, but in traffic couldn't find Costello. It's Snyder on the move. Transition triple for Lee. Goins on the glass.
The reason Goins is in there is a walk-on. Nothing out of Best, nothing out of Ellis, nothing out of Clark.
Aaron split the D, couldn't finish. The crash by Costello, nothing. Johnson on the deck, jump ball, arrow to Louisville. Michigan State didn't score the first 4 minutes of the first half. Repeating that here in the second. Pitino just sent Donovan Mitchell in the game, who impressed you in the first half.
Man, I think he's a terrific broad-shouldered, athletic kid. Hit a jump shot, ran the floor, got a dunk. Just looks like he belongs in a tough environment.
Michigan State got 7 points and 4 boards from the freshman Deontay Davis in the first half. He has checked in. Costello to the bench. Onuaku inside in foul trouble in the first half. They've gotten a lot of scoring from their big starters, Onuaku, Methiang. It's Davis tied up with Onuaku inside. It looks as though it'll be Chinani's 3rd.
You know, good move by Louisville. They went right at Davis, and they didn't go at him at the top of the key. They went at him after a pin down screen. Onuaku turned around, got him. Just didn't finish. It's easy to post up Davis. It's hard to finish over him, Mike. He's so long.
Onuaku, Dan, first player with 3 fouls in this game. Valentine, a no-look inside the flash, so he and Davis really have a good connection.
Yeah. You know, Goins just slipped the screen there. Went the screen away, slipped into the middle of the lane. Valentine found him.
A two-man tap of the floor. Wow. And a high finish off the glass by Lewis over 3 outstretched Spartans. Wow.
I was lucky he didn't hit the shot clock.
The 8:31 7-point lead. 13 for Lewis, 13 for Lee. Facing Louisville. Truly is the U of L here tonight. Forbes. Forget the hell U of L is Louisville and Lewis and Lee.
Mike, you're a veteran.
You did get it. I just didn't like it. That's okay. Just
a crafty veteran.
Only lefties can be crafty.
You're right.
Mitchell. Not exactly a smooth offensive trip there.
No, very stagnant. Louisville's best when they're moving the ball side to side and then looking to drive. There, it stood on the left side way too long.
Forbes off on the 3. Good job keeping it alive by Goins. Yeah, Louisville guards you. They get right up in you. They get no space to breathe.
Look at how many. 2 guys. They don't even worry what happens after Valentine. They're just worried about Valentine off a ball screen. This will be a switch if he goes right.
Lewis wants him there and told by Valentine, I got this. Take the screen from Davis. Let him flash. Forbes a 3. Lee on the finish.
I'm telling you, attack Valentine. Valentine cannot guard Lee. Lee has taken him every single time. That time they cleared out the right side with a little flare screen, got the opposite big, the low big out of there, and just went one-on-one and whipped Valentine.
Valentine trying to pay Lee back. Can Naren hit one? No on the 3. Good board. Davis went up to get it and gets fouled as we hit the first time out of the half.
Well, Denzel Valentine, if you get open, doesn't matter where on the court, he is going to find you a little slip screen right there by the walk-on Goins, and then down on the other end, how high is this? This almost over the backboard. It's a journey to the tourney with 2 tourney teams.
We love coming to the Big Ten. So many familiar faces we see. That's Gus Ganakis, who is part of the Michigan State radio basketball team. But Gus was the coach of the Spartans 1969 to 1976. And then Judd Heathcote. And then Tom Izzo. They've had 3 coaches going back to 1969. Louisville's had 2. Denny Crum for 3 tremendous decades. And Rick Pitino now for 15 years. Tonight is Pitino's 500th game as the Louisville head coach. Dan, you talk about programs that are the tops and the continuity. Look at those coaches, and you see some of the reason why there's been so much success.
Oh, there's no doubt about it. Nobody has a closer-knit family than the Spartan family under Izzo, with Ganakis' guys and obviously Judd's guys and Rick Pitino and Denny Crum. Denny Crum, in my opinion, is the most underrated coach ever. He was a great coach. I mean, not good, great. Legendarily great, but nobody discusses him, and they should.
Aaron Harris on the miss for Michigan State.
Like, is legendarily a word? I like it. If it's not, we got to get it in.
You have your own separate dictionary that you work off of. Radio listeners in Indianapolis firmly aware of that. Lewis missed the 3, and on the rebounding, banging, we had a holding call coming here on Michigan State. We'll take a look here at tonight's Sonic Showdown, the 2 conferences in the Big Ten ACC Challenge. Obviously, not the same number of teams, so Georgia Tech sitting this out on the ACC side, but both conferences full of championship teams and quality NCAA tournament wins. Dribble handoff got messed up between Methayang and Lee. Back the other way, Harris. Block is called.
Boy, would it help Michigan State if this kid, Aaron Harris, could get going. He sat out last year after averaging 13.5 over 2 years for Bob Huggins in West Virginia. And he's been a slow starter. Had 12 against Providence, all pretty big. But this is the guy. This is a guy that's used to scoring, used to playing in big games, used to being coached hard. Michigan State's going to improve over the course of the year. This kid's going to lead it.
Fouls on Quentin Snyder of Louisville, his third. 2 cards. Onuaku and Snyder have 3. Snyder will come out, and Donovan Mitchell will come in. Tom Izzo made a good point earlier today at the shoot-around when we visited with him about Harris. Just forget sometimes. You see a guy every day. You know he's been in your program for over a year. But it's game action. It's different. It's been over a year and a half, and there is some time to knock that rust off. And you get the sense they feel Harris will understand things a bit better as the game flow is going on, as the season goes to January, February.
Every player at this level will tell you that the gym is totally different on game day. You know what I mean? Everything is different about it. When you walk in a gym that you're in every day, 3-4 hours a day, then all of a sudden you walk in a game day, totally different.
You know why I love that one by Onuaku?
Tell me.
He wanted it.
Yep.
He waved everybody away. I'm going to go right at Davis. Patiently made that move in the post. Louisville lead back to 4. Valentine has it deflected away. Recaptured.
You've got to give it to Valentine here and let him go. Not with the ball screen, though.
Give him a terrible spot. The double team on the sideline. Got rid of it quickly. Clock at 9. It's McQuaid put it on the deck. That got hit by Trey Lewis, who will pick up his second foul.
Syracuse fans will remember his brother, who impressed and was with the Pacers for a little bit, and I believe the Thunder for a little bit.
Arinze Onuaku, who signed the contract. He's playing in Israel. Got a 2-year deal to play over in Israel. They like him a lot over there.
When he was in camp, the Pacers loved him, just didn't have room.
For those of you, here is Harris for the 3. Knocks it down, and it's a 1-point deficit. Close as it's been in a long time. Louisville led by 13 halfway through the first half. Mathiang faked it, put it on the deck, got to the rack, bang in the bucket. Nice play. Mango Mathiang will go for 3.
Man, Mathiang just took the freshman Davis out on the perimeter. Watch this. They're going to get it to the top. He shot fake. Just a lazy recovery by the freshman and strong enough with his chin on the rim for Mathiang. Watch this. Not even a great shot fake. But I'm telling you, when you come out to just play anybody on Louisville's team, they're going to take advantage of it. You have to come out on every guy and compete defensively. Every guy.
Mathiang completes the 3-point play. Onuaku and Mathiang both just took the ball and made moves inside. The bigs who were not looking for scoring decided to get in there.
Mike, and that's what Louisville has, combined with really good perimeter with Lee and Lewis and Snyder and the rest. And I think as this season goes on, this is going to be a heck of a basketball team. I think it's really good right now.
Louisville 15 baskets in the paint. That's going to be 4 on Onuaku, who was in foul trouble and limited to 11 minutes Saturday against St. Louis. The starting center for the Cardinals has 4.
Go to ESPN.
All right, back in the studio with an update. All mics open. Long play here. Slow to develop. Coach, break it down.
Syracuse just starts to pass when they get out in transition. They're going to probe this packed-in Wisconsin defense. I think that Trevor Coon's going to end up with a bucket.
Trevor Coon coming up that down screen, little curl, splash.
That's coaching, and that's Jay Will analysis with a splash call. So they're up 6 now at the home of the Dome. Penn State and BC. It's a good one, 4 points. And Richard Vitale.
Oh, are you serious? He's a cowboy.
Sorry, Mike. You don't even have to cue him up anymore.
No, it's... Carl, they've only been on the air nonstop for about 17 days now, those two. And it's not even December. Dick Vitale.
I felt like Jay Will and Seth were having dinner with me over Thanksgiving.
Couldn't get rid of him, huh?
Couldn't get rid of him.
That's what they were. You saw Vitale there at Cameron Indoor for Indiana Duke coming up next. That's what it was. You invite family, not us, because the family we had home for the holidays was great, but the people who invite family and you can't wait for them to leave.
Yeah, not me
Seth
either.
and Jay.
Oh, I couldn't wait for
Right, it's just like, are they going to, is their flight tomorrow?
Like, Seth and I did a 90-minute fill a couple of years ago, and I felt like it was a 48-hour fill between those two guys. But it was great. They were fantastic.
The lead is 3, so with the 4 fouls on Onuaku, he comes to the bench. Yang going to work inside. Second trip and 3 times. Love the different look for Louisville here offensively.
Jump shots aren't going, only 2 for 15 right now from the three-point line, or 2 for 13, excuse me. So you throw it inside, and Methiang going to his right shoulder. What a great move.
Valentine draws them all. Finds Goins couldn't finish inside, but the foul is called on the Cards. They're going to get to the bonus here in the 1-1. So Kentucky, UCLA, that was not pretty for that first half that they played last year. It's going out to UCLA for this one. It'll be 9 Eastern on ESPN. This game a part of the Journey to the Tourney presented by Sonic. Goins comes to the line for a couple. Here's Allison.
Well, guys, as he has so many times throughout this game, Denzel Valentine, after the missed shot, huddling his teammates together. We've seen it throughout the night. It's a big point of emphasis for the Spartans. Tom Izzo talks about being a player-coach team, not a coach-coach team. And that leadership, a lot of that falls on the shoulders of Denzel Valentine. He's become more vocal this year. He's improved his relationships with his teammates and his coaches and his communication skills. But during the last time out, his coaches told him, right now, you need to go out there and hold your teammates accountable.
Here we go the other way. Methiang holding off Costello. Allison on the inside will pick up the foul. Dan, we know about the stats, the triple-doubles. We've already seen 2 of them from Valentine this year. That's the all-time Michigan State list. It's a pretty sweet list to be on.
Yeah, it is, but I think it's even more than that. I think that Valentine saw Draymond Green, and they all see Magic Johnson, and they want to live up to something. That's the beauty of what you were talking earlier, Mike, about continuity.
Harris a 3. That's off. Mahmoud tipped it right into the hands of the Spartans and will earn the free throws here with 11:02 to go and a 4-point Louisville lead. To Allison's point, by the way, Donovan Mitchell picked up that foul, so he moves up on that foul list with 3. So we're watching the game late Sunday night, Providence and Michigan State out in Anaheim, as Michigan State won that tournament, winning 3 games. End of the first half situation. Izzo calls a timeout. Valentine gets a hoop. Then Ed Cooley and Providence take a timeout with a couple seconds left. Valentine already had 2 fouls. Instead of waiting for Izzo to sub him out so he doesn't pick up a third, Valentine, like Allison said, kind of being that player coach, he subbed himself out.
I know, he was great.
He just looked at Nairn and said, you're in, I'm out. But you love that because he understands. He knows what his coach is going to do and he gets it.
Mike, when you have a guy like Valentine that takes it off the coach's hand, the coach doesn't have to try to convince the team he's doing the right thing or we're working the right way. When Valentine takes that kind of stuff over, it's so easy.
Lee went down to get position on Aaron Harris, and Harris is going to pick up the foul.
Yeah, this is a foul on Harris. You see the right arm, little hook around, little swim move. I don't know what you're supposed to do as a defender anymore because the offensive player can back you down. Somehow you must move around him while showing your hands, because if you don't show your hands and you move around, it's going to be a foul.
Trying to squeeze Lewis off the top. Forced him to give up his dribble. Still got plenty of shot clock here. Methiang working on Goins. He's seeing a ton of time here tonight because of the size of Louisville. Mahmoud couldn't squeeze it. Back the other way. Michigan State can tie or take the lead for the first time tonight. Valentine. Timeout. Cards. Tonight's game, part of ESPN's Journey to the Tourney, presented by Sonic. Season-long spotlight on games that will impact the tournament. Place these teams have been before because they're great leaders in these programs. And Denzel Valentine is one, Dan, inside the play.
Well, they got senior patience. I got this as a senior moment. Mine usually end up driving the wrong way down a one-way street, but you see the patience here. He was going to shoot a three. He was going to shoot a pull-up. And then he just kept going, Valentine did. That is a senior that has patience, that knows, hey, look, I can get a great shot. Not a good shot, a great shot. Freshmen oftentimes don't understand that, Mike.
Louisville struggling a bit on the offensive end from the perimeter. Michigan State has picked up its defense outside the arc. And also a little bit of foul trouble with Onuaku with 4. 2 players with 3. Onuaku back in. Air ball off the foot of Goins, I believe. And it's Louisville ball with 10 on the shot.
It just, every possession, Louisville puts pressure on you. That time it was Onuaku. Everybody kind of on Michigan State, kind of helped. Next thing you know, the backboard was free. Louisville got another possession.
Damian Lee wants the 3. Got them all. Damian Lee.
Tom Izzo is going nuts with Aaron Harris. That was a switch. Valentine called it out. Aaron Harris wasn't paying enough attention, got there late, cost him 3.
Here's the double trying to get it out of Valentine's hands as often as possible. Harris on the drive going into big bodies. Costello pitched it. Valentine shot it. Good rebound, Onuaku, and he gets fouled. Izzo can't believe it. He and Terry Weimer do a Dancing with the Stars audition. And Terry Weimer tells Tom to calm down.
This is great officiating. This is not overreacting. Tom lost his mind for a split second, and Terry Weimer did what a veteran does, just went over and talked to the man. No need to call technical there. This is too good a game.
The foul is on Goins. That is his first. 16 fouls on the Spartans, 9 on Louisville. Angel Mathieu handing to Trey Lewis. Damian Lee again, same spot, too much. Good rebound, Goins. Valentine in the corner, Harris on the drive, finding Valentine. Michigan State off from the outside tonight. Louisville has done a terrible job shooting threes. Until that one that was knocked down by Lee, they were 2 of 13.
I think you got to look for Forbes here.
You are good. He's better, but you're good.
Yeah, he just had a look about him, Mike.
Yeah. Good eyes. I don't know about Porzingis' eyes, but yours are good. 50-50. 8:20 to go, starting a long night of the Big Ten ACC Challenge.
Boy, was that good by Valentine right there. They cleared a side for Lee, and he moved his feet and sat down.
Trey Lewis with a reply for 3.
That's just right in your eye right there. That's just right in Forbes' eye. Just here it is for you. What a great look by Lewis.
Ooh, bad pass, Costello. A little confusion, and on the turnover, it'll be Cards ball on the other side. Toughest test for Louisville. We're learning they're a good team. Can they beat Michigan State in East Lansing?
ESPN's exclusive presentation of college basketball is presented by the United States Marine Corps. The few, the proud, the Marines. And in part by Cheez-It Grooves, because at Cheez-It, real cheese matters.
Cheez-It.
Back here in East Lansing with Allison Williams and Dan Dockich, Mike Tirico. Louisville leading by 3 in this Big Ten ACC Challenge. 2 incredibly well-decorated coaches, been around a long time. Tom Crean over Izzo's shoulder back in the day there. 21 years for Tom, 30 for Rick. Each just 7 Final Fours. Izzo beat Pitino to get to the last one. The national championship for the Spartans in 2000. A couple of national championships for Pitino, of course, in the state. One in Kentucky. And then Louisville a few seasons ago. Of course, took that 87 Providence team to the Final Four.
Delray Brooks, Billy Donovan, Pop Lewis. Yeah, you were there. Suffering.
I was student media in that day. I remember calling a Syracuse Providence game. Both of those teams went to the Final Four. I was a junior in college. Called it from the Providence Civic Center. Great Providence story that year with the run. Billy Donovan now, of course, in the NBA with Oklahoma City and the Thunder.
I was a grad assistant at Indiana in charge of getting laundry. Dry cleaning.
The reason the Hoosiers won the title that year.
Yes, sir.
Mahmoud on the turn.
Short. Has Goins given them minutes?
Ton.
Man,
Ton
man.
minutes.
They have all these scholarship guys, and look at this.
Forbes for three. Ties the game at 53. Not only is Goins giving them all those minutes, what's your guys' rebound total? 12. Kenny Goins has 12 rebounds in this game.
And this has not been an easy defensive game either, Mike.
No.
He's had to guard every possession down on the block.
And the Spartans will have the chance to take the lead for the first time tonight. Five-hole hockey tournament. Ruled not touching his hands. So Michigan State the chance to take the lead. By the way, the 13 rebounds for Goins, as many as he's had in the 37 minutes he's played all season. 25 for Spartans getting it done and giving them the lead with that jumper.
Mike, you and I are suckers for a good story. Goins coming here. Great story.
We're also suckers for great plays. And that was won by Damian Lee. That is, excuse me, guys, I'm going to make sure we're back in this. Watch this sweet tape.
You forget, this is the fourth leading scorer in the country last year. Man, Bruiser Flint is dying watching this at Drexel. Holy cow, he took on the whole team, put a little fade on it, and got it over the front of the rim. This Louisville team is tough, Mike.
Sometimes points don't transfer. When you score at one place, you know, somebody's got to score points. The competition night in, night out is tough. And we'll see how he does in the ACC. But that's the fourth leading scorer in the country. He's really giving him great work here tonight.
Mike, if you can come in to Breslin on a game like this and get work done, you can pretty much do it anywhere. You might not score as much because, Mike.
So we have a Louisville timeout.
Well, we talked about changing defenses 2 times in a row. Goins got in the middle of the zone. First time he scored, I'm going to show you the one before it as well. That time he fed. Middle of the zone where the Big Ten is. He found it, and he's just playing. He's not thinking. He's not worrying. He's just totally attuned to this game. What a great night for the freshman Goins.
Redshirt freshman from Troy, Michigan, Warren Mott High School. Dan had mentioned he was a walk-on. He earned his scholarship in the summer. He grew up a great Spartan fan. Really spent a ton of time at football games. He was tailgating at football games as a kid. He went to the Rose Bowl in 2014 as a fan during his senior year in high school. So maybe the excitement of the week in the Big Ten Championship in Indianapolis against Iowa on Saturday for the football team. He's got Goins going here tonight. But again, playing because one Gavin Schilling remains out with turf toe, and they need size against the Cards. Lee on the tape. Davis was there. The foul was called inside on Michigan State. And Connor Cook, the quarterback for the Spartans, who Allison spoke to in the first half.
Am I wrong? Does he have a little Spike Albrecht look to him? No? His dad, Chris, was a heck of a football player at IU when I was there. All the girls liked Chris Cook. They did. He is a handsome man, I guess. I don't know. But then all the girls like Chris Cook, tight end at IU.
Lee has 22.
They did. So team was bad, really bad.
Yeah. So your jealousy comes out 30 years later.
No, I'm not jealous of anything. I'm proud of the kid, and you know, I'm trying to give you a little nugget here. That's what we call it in TV, Mike. I'm giving you a nugget.
I didn't see that in any of our preparation material. the schools in our research department provided. Full press here.
Well, they need to call me next time.
From Louisville. Michigan State has handled that much better here in this second half. 5.5 to go, all even at 58. Indiana, Duke to follow. Big Ten ACC Challenge wrapping up tonight. A terrific doubleheader here on ESPN. Action on ESPN2 and the U as well.
This is a bailout possession. It's been a bad possession. They're going to hope Valentine bails him out.
Costello, one more pass. Time for Valentine.
And he did.
Michigan State in last 5 field goals. The takeaway by Tum Tum Nairn. Rob Davis. Louisville only has 1 timeout left, and Pitino will use it here. Michigan State's biggest lead now up 5.
Man, he's always had vision. How do you lose the guy, the biggest guy on the floor? How do you lose him in a zone, a 2-3 zone? Rick Pitino was absolutely disgusted with Damian Lee at this timeout for that exact reason. And then Lee walked by and Pitino was trying to get a timeout and Lee was just kind of in la-la land. You protect the basket first in a zone, and particularly a 2-3 zone.
So Louisville's got to get the answers. They also have to do all their planning in this and then the next media timeout because they are out of clock stoppages. John Butchergross, John Anderson will wrap things up right after Indiana and Duke are done. Sports Center at night. See the best highlights of the night. The guys will have it here on ESPN and, of course, streaming live on Watch ESPN. Needless to say, we look forward to our Super Tuesdays together. We are thrilled to have Allison Williams back with us, the Big Ten fan back together, and the atmospheres in the league. The league may not be as good as it's been in the Big Ten over the last 3 or 4 years. So I think we have some time to see who else comes up, but certainly Maryland's up there, this Michigan State team, among the excellent teams in this league.
Mike, I thought Purdue was terrific last night in Pittsburgh. I thought Ryan Klein came off the bench, freshman, Carmel, Indiana, 4 threes, and then A.J. Hammonds, who, you know what, he's a first-round pick. He's just got to make sure he doesn't become a distraction. A.J. Hammonds just took over with 24. Don't sleep on Purdue. I think it's an Elite 8 Final Four team moving forward.
This Louisville team picked 7th in the ACC. Looks like they'll be better than that. Snyder on the drive. Mahmoud dives to the rim. He can't finish around the rim. That's been part of the struggle tonight. Davis the rebound.
Nothing wrong with the play out of a timeout. You get a 7-foot kid, a shot right on the rim. He just pulled the string on it.
Under 4 minutes. Valentine fake right, going left. Forbes again. Long board secured. Lee so good in the open court. He's going rack to rack, and it's going the other way. Pete Sterator calls the offensive foul, and Lee in disbelief.
On first glance, I give Rick Pitino great credit for not losing his mind on this call. You got to give Michigan State credit. Nairn gets back, but I think he's moving into him. But great play by Nairn, protecting the bucket.
It was hard.
Night of basketball. We got 2 examples of it here. Wisconsin gets the ball to Vito Brown.
That's Bronson Koenig knocking down that 3 first. Down the stretch, Vito Brown misses the shot that gives him a chance to win the game at the buzzer.
They're in overtime. Butler, Cincinnati. This one, no overtime.
Ooh, Roosevelt Jones, the heart and soul of the Bulldogs.
With 1/10 left on the clock, they knock off the Fighting Nick Cronin's. Mike.
Thank you, Ravi. Great win for a good Butler team over Cincinnati.
Yeah, but Vito Brown was a Dan Dockage basketball school camper for a bunch of years. We didn't teach an air ball late.
He didn't?
No.
At the buzzer from the wing. 13 feet. Spartans up 5. Louisville out of timeout, sitting on 10 team fouls and stepping on the sideline was Valentine. So it will be Card's ball. And they need some scores and stops. Dan, those transfer players, the fifth-year players, Lee and Lewis, carrying the load here tonight. 39 of Louisville's 58.
They have come in and solidified with, according to Bobby Valvano, one of the broadcasters, Jim's brother, solidified it with professionalism and hard work. Really a great locker room because of those two.
Lewis dribbled that off his foot. He was looking at Quentin Snyder, whose absence here because of foul trouble has been one more player who can just keep things calm. And Louisville's missed him a bit in the second half. Onuaku in the game again for Louisville, sitting on those 4 fouls. Valentine. Off on the 3. Lee makes man plays. The tough plays, the physical plays.
Fifth-year guy.
Yes.
And that'll probably make one here at the end of the clock. Would be my guess. Get it back to Lee against Valentine.
Snyder only 2 of 7 from the field. 4 points. Good defense by the Spartans. Onuaku will go on Costello. Good job by Costello to hold his ground. 2:19 to go. Still a 5-point Spartan lead.
Ball has to be in Lee's hands, and the ball has to be reversed. The ball was on the left side the entire possession, Mike. Makes it too easy for the defense.
All right, 5-point lead. Let's see what Ravi can add to the telecast back in the studio.
Oh, we can add this, Mike. Grayson Allen, 54-53, Mike.
Okay, Carl, keep an eye on that. It's over on ESPN2. Games on ESPN, it's ESPNU as well. This Big Ten ACC Challenge, which is great. It's exciting. It's fun. Matter of fact, the women's programs for both of these teams will play tomorrow night right here. Big Ten against the ACC, Michigan State, Louisville. If it ends up, by the way, 7-7, if it's an even split tonight, and there is no winner, which has happened a couple of times, I propose one of 2 things. Either John Swafford and Jim Delaney, the commissioners, could play like a sudden death golf playoff to see which conference wins. Or since you went to a Big Ten school, Syracuse now in the ACC, you and I can shoot free throws for it.
Boy, would you lose.
Yes,
hey, I'm not kidding you. I'm one of the great old man free throw shooters of all time.
Forbes was not one of the young, great three-point shooters on that one, but it deflects off Louisville and stays here with 8 to shoot.
I'm not confident in anything athletically. But old man, no jumping free throws.
You?
I'm not bad.
Okay. 8 on the shot clock. Michigan State, huge possession here. Valentine works through traffic. Shovel shot. Got it.
Mike, that's kind of a no-look shot. He wanted to go to the right corner, and Louisville did a great job of defending it. And he just flipped it up. You said it. It's been a theme. When you're good, good things happen.
3.5 scoreless minutes end there. You like Donovan Mitchell, don't you?
Oh, my gosh. He just went away from the ball screen, a little flat ball screen. Confident as you can possibly be. Now, he's been that way all day, and he's been that way all year, Mike.
The Big Ten's now up 5-4 in the challenge. The Penn State victory. Must stop possession. Remember, Louisville out of timeout, so the game cannot be shrunk. Costello, guarded by Mahmoud, going baseline, blocked. Costello got it back. Huge possession here. Trey Lewis with a minute to go. You got to go quick. Don't need 3. But it would be nice to have. Tumnarin got him on the arm. It'll be 3 free throws.
Wow. That was a late call, a loud arena, so you couldn't hear it, but man,
live, I thought it was the right call. I think he gets him on the wrist.
I do too. I did too.
Yeah.
At the line for Louisville, Trey Lewis, 23.
I thought the first time I looked at it, I'm glad the guys in the truck, as Lewis takes the first one, I'm glad they rolled it back. On that second look, it was closer to the ball than I thought.
Yeah. Yeah, live it looked like he may have gotten him.
Did you think so live?
I did, just for a split second, but I didn't hear a whistle or see a whistle. I just saw it was a bad shot.
And this is huge. If he hits all 3, it gets it down to a 2-point game.
Now, this is what we talked about earlier. You know, they've always had a guy to go on the block to in these situations. Draymond Green left block was dangerous. I mean, really dangerous. Now you got to figure it out, and you got to live or die by either a drive or a jump shot, unless Tom Izzo wants to put Valentine in the low post and work out of it.
Michigan State has the 2 timeouts. Louisville does not. So Pitino's team going to have to do it on the fly. 3 clutch free throws knocked down by Lewis, who has 19.
Tom usually takes one over here right side.
Well, Mitchell's going to be called for the foul, and it's a 10 free throw or 10 fouls, so 2 free throws for Louisville here. And some words for the freshman Donovan Mitchell that they didn't need that foul there. Valentine 81% thus far on the year.
Not only did you foul unnecessarily, you fouled the absolute wrong guy, the player of the year in the country to this point. And Rick Pitino just was kind of incredulous with it. Not much more you can do. Take him out and talk to him.
A 4:49.2 to go. Quentin Snyder maxed the clock. He didn't pick it up till late. Weave from the top gets it to Lewis. Now back to Snyder. Off the curl, Damian Lee. Going to go to Mahmoud here, and he's going to go inside, pitch it back out, I would assume, to Snyder. A lot of clock being used. Tough shot. Mahmoud tips it in. 2-point game. Shot clock is off. Now you have to foul. You get Valentine. They come for the trap.
You're going to see these two guys handle it, and that's it.
But you got to foul. The shot clock is off. You don't want to foul Valentine. I understand that, but you got to give it here to extend the game.
No doubt about it. You have
to. Indiana Duke coming up next here on ESPN. Valentine back to the line for 2 more. Donovan Mitchell comes back in to get Mathiang.
Tom Izzo wants full court pickup if he makes this, which is a little bit dangerous. He wants Nairn and them to move up. They're not seeing it.
Love the pressure free throws from Valentine. Costello gets his guys fired up. By picking up, it doesn't allow Louisville to waste time before they touch the ball. Got to be quicker this time down. Lewis going to attack the basket. Get the layup. 2-point game. 6.8. Can't be choosy on a foul. Michigan State gets it into Valentine. He's fouled.
You got to walk on taking it out, and you got Harris running away. It's what we talked about earlier. You got to come back to the ball, and the veteran Valentine did. You know, Mike, the rule of not being allowed to call timeout from the bench came into play right there because the team was a little bit disheveled, and Valentine bailed him out.
Very different world as the ball was in the hands of Goins to make the inbounds on the baseline. So Valentine has hit all 4, back to the line. Donovan Mitchell fouled out with that 5th foul that he committed. And Jay Henderson, the freshman from Orlando, who's only played 7 minutes this year, walk-on transfer, checks in. Valentine, been terrific here. In the clutch with the free throws. 24-point night. 25 might be too much for the Cardinals. It's 4, 5.7 to go, and Michigan State took a timeout. Spartans will be down to 1. They'll have a chance to organize their defense here in the backcourt.
Well, up 4, all you're trying to do is make them catch the ball, they being Louisville, with your back to the basket. That's all you're trying to do. You don't want the ball caught with a running start heading towards Louisville's offensive end. You just don't. Back to the basket, takes up time, and you're good to go with a 4-point lead.
Well, one of the questions coming into tonight was Louisville had not been tested. St. Louis has a good pedigree. They're in a rebuilding mode a bit. I think Louisville win or lose here, and likely a loss, is going to walk away feeling really good about this team that seems to be getting better game in, game out.
Like, you got a lot of young guys. You got some young bigs that this is their first time playing, really have no statistics in previous season. You know, leading scorer back was Snyder at 4.4 points a game, for crying out loud. So now he's found out that, hey, these guys can go into an arena that's as tough as any in the country and play right down the wire. Now, you can be happy about it. No, Louisville expects to win these games. I get that. But early in the season, man, you talk about learning about your team. Louisville, Rick Pitino learned a lot here that they can compete.
Of course, Louisville has that meeting with Kentucky. It comes up December 26th. Their next game's against the Antelopes of Grand Canyon University. Dan Marley's coaching them, and they're off to a good start.
Don't sleep on Thunder Dan.
Down for it, final seconds. Lee will hoist the three. He'll miss it, and that will do it. Michigan State comes back from a double-digit deficit in the first half. And Rick Pitino and Tom Izzo, two Hall of Fame coaches, 7 Final Fours apiece, with another quality game played. And for the second straight time, Michigan State comes away with a win, as they did in the Elite Eight a year ago. The Big Ten 6-4 lead here in the challenge, and Wisconsin's closing in on adding one more to that total up in Syracuse. Indiana and Duke next here on ESPN. With Dan Dockich and Allison Williams, our entire crew here in East Lansing, Mike Tirico, thanks so long. And sending you back to the studio, and once again with Jay Williams and Seth Greenberg, babysitting tonight, Carl Ravitch. Ravi, back to you, Carl.